And here we go, lads. We're back with the top 250 movies with IMDb, and now on the list, The Departed. By the way, before we get into this, I just realized it's going to take me an insane amount of time to get through to all 250, but I'm loving every moment, man. It's going to probably take me until the end of the year, 2025. I did a rough calculation there a while ago, and I went, whoa. So we got a lot of content coming in for this whole year, lads. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, today we've got The Departed. Now, lads, it's such a great movie. Is it Scorsese's best? You can argue me on that one. I don't know if I'd put it as his best. He did win the Oscar for this, though. Right? He did. And he didn't win before then. So, you know, he kind of changed his style for this movie, I think. That's what really got him over the line winning the Oscar on this one. You know, it's just so good, man. The attention to detail Scorsese gives you it's breathtaking. And it's a great movie, I think, for both men and women, right? And that's what we're doing here especially for the Spotify, as we were saying, guys, for the Spotify podcast, we're creating more generic movies. So it's for women and men, you know? So anyway, here we go. Did you ever feel like you're living a double life? Like one move and the whole thing just comes flushing down the toilet here. I mean, well, imagine if this wasn't paranoia. Imagine if this was your actual job. The Departed is this in a nutshell. A world where everyone's lying, everybody's pretending, and at any given moment, someone could put a bullet in your head for just existing. I mean, it's mad, man. It's a crime thriller, a psychological roller coaster, and one of the tensest, most gut-wrenching films ever made. And somehow it can be very funny too, because that's the thing about The Departed. It plays like life, tragic, intense, but always with a dark, biting sense of humor. Now, the movie isn't just about cops and criminals, lads. It's about identity, who you are, and who you pretend to be, and whether at the end of the day, if there's even a difference. I mean, you got Billy Costigan, Leonardo DiCaprio, great performance, a cop who's undercover in the mob, and Colin Sullivan, Matt Damon, a mobster who's infiltrated the police. Two of them do just a smashing job on this. They're both playing parts, living lies, and the deeper they go, the harder it is to tell where the act ends and the real person begins. And standing at the center of it all, Nicholson, Frank Costello, man. Always the man. A crime boss, quite terrifying, unpredictable, very unpredictable. He makes the devil look like a drinking buddy here. Now let's go back into just a little bit of background. Like, a lot of the Boston crime stories, they're not just about crime. They're kind of like loyalty. Who's got your back? Who's waiting to stab you? The film is loosely based on the real-life gangster Whitley Bulger and the FBI's insane mishandling of him. But Scorsese, he cranks everything up to 11, man. You're thrown into a world of cops, criminals, rats, snitches. Nobody's clean. Everybody's compromised. And the more you watch, the more you realize this isn't a movie about good or bad guys. It's kind of about survivors. And then we get a deep look at what power does to people. Costello isn't just a crime boss. He's kind of a god in his own little kingdom here. And he doesn't just control his men. He kind of owns them. And Sullivan doesn't just work for him. He owns him. He owes him, man. And that's what makes Costello kind of terrifying, really. He doesn't need to make threats because he's already built a world where people are too scared to betray him. And that's kind of the genius of the character. And yet that's the paradox. His entire empire is built on deception, and in a world of liars, someone is bound to get ahead of him. And the tension in The Departed, lads, it's not really from the violence. It's kind of more about the waiting around, wondering what's about to happen. You know what I mean? It's the shark underwater. You don't see the full shark, and that's what's more terrifying. And both Billy and Colin, they know there's a rat in the organizations, but they don't know who. Every conversation is a minefield. Every glance is a test, and every phone call could be the one that gets them killed. I mean, you're like, who's going to hear them? Billy's unraveling under the pressure, barely keeping it together. I mean, like I said, a brilliant performance by DiCaprio for this. Colin, on the other hand, plays it cool, rising through the ranks while feeding intel to the mob. And you can't help but ask yourself, who's going to crack first? And let's talk about the dialogue. The Departed. Oh, man. I mean, The Departed, it's packed with it's very sharp, funny, brutal lines in crime cinema. And it's a Scorsese film, which means everyone talks like they've been drinking espresso and doing push-ups at the same time. Then you got Mark Wahlberg. I mean, what an a-hole of a character, this guy. I mean, just wow. And Alec Baldwin's has the subtlety of a hand grenade, this guy. Every exchange between Nicholson and DiCaprio feel like a death match with words. You're laughing, you're kind of sweating, gripping the armrest. It's the magic of the film, man. And then we get to the climax. I will not give it away for anybody who has not seen it, but you're going to be shocked. That's when you think you just got a handle on the whole movie and you're about to figure out, you can predict the end of the movie. And then bang, Scorsese throws in an absolute wild card here, man. The rug gets ripped out from under you. You know, the elevator scene, that's all I'll say. You know, no dramas to it. It's just straight to the point. It's like, whoa. And it kind of make you feel a bit sick. And then watching certain people thrive and suffer kind of makes you even sicker even more. And then, you know, you think then that the movie actually ends up, oh, wow, I didn't see this one coming. Then Scorsese throws in another jab to the stomach, man. I mean, there's two twists in this. It's just unbelievable. So what do we take away from The Departed? What do we take? The crime doesn't pay? Corruption is everywhere? Maybe. But more than anything, it's kind of about the masks we can wear in life, the roles we play, the games we play. Billy and Colin weren't just lying to others, they were lying to themselves, and you can see that. And I think a lot of us can relate that, oh yeah, we certainly know someone that lies to themselves and they just can't stop lying. You know, and this kind of scary part is we've all met a guy like Costello, you know, not a full-blown psychopath with a love for something, but that power, who's got power and worse knows it. The boss who enjoys making you squirm. The teacher who thrives on intimidation here, believe you me. The friend who's only a friend with benefits. And the real question is, how far would you go to take someone like that down? How far would you go? Would you play the long game? Do you risk everything? Or would you just let the system swallow you whole? And that's why The Departed, it's not just a crime thriller, lads. It's got punch. Really does. Highly entertaining. A lesson in chaos, description, the terrifying truth that sometimes bad people can win, or maybe not. You decide for this one. You'll know what I mean if you haven't seen this. And when you do. And keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Maybe, just maybe, don't trust anyone who seems too good at playing both sides.
Peter.